Well, it seems as if Keir Starmer, or Labour rather, have set a record, and no, it's not a very good one, and I'm not talking about a Tosspot of the Year award, although let's face it, in my opinion, Keir Starmer would be well deserving of that. And this record for us is only surely going to make things worse, and it just makes me wonder, where is it, Keir? What am I going on about? And well, according to the article, it says that Sir Keir, no sir, in my opinion, Keir Starmer has been accused of losing control of the country's borders as small boat arrivals increased by some 29%. 29%, that's a third nearly, since Labour came into power. So finally, they can't exactly blame the Tories on this one. And the Tories last night said that there have been 23,242 migrant crossings, which is a major increase on the 18,004 in the same time frame from July to December last year, which leads me to ask you, Keir, where is this Border Force Commander, or whatever you want to call it, that you've been banging on about since the general election, or in fact, in the campaign for the general election? Because I don't know about you, but I haven't seen anything happen, so therefore, while he was very quick to dismiss the Rwanda plan and poo-poo the idea, his replacement is surely worse than that, isn't it? Because at least the Rwanda plan, it might not have worked as well as the government had thought, but hopefully it might have deterred at least one or two people if they saw some people board the planes and head off to Rwanda. But no, of course, he's cancelled that, and now this looks about as hard to find as a game of Where's Wally? Although the only Wally we can see, unfortunately, in my opinion, is running the government. The Shadow Home Secretary, Chris Phillips, says there are 3 times as many illegal immigrants arriving in December compared to 12 months previously. He said that the government had made a catastrophic mistake in getting rid of the Rwanda deportation policy, which was set to offer a deterrent, because let's face it, a deterrent is surely better than nothing at all. Mr. Phillips said that these figures make clear that Labour has totally failed on illegal immigration by small boat. Numbers have skyrocketed since the general election. 3 times more illegal immigrants, or Labour voters as they're more than likely end up being, crossed in December this year compared to last. An insult to the British people. And you'll have to remember as well that these people are presumably coming from the safe country of France, and therefore, if they're coming from a safe country, then they can't exactly be fleeing war, or whatever other crap excuse they come out with. And no doubt, of course, if you are fleeing war, wouldn't you bring your whole family with you? I mean, just a given, isn't it? But most of the time it's just young men that seem to come over, isn't it? Even, get this, the National Crime Agency warned that a removals deterrent was needed, and the law enforcement alone would not be enough. So why isn't Keir Starmer listening to this? Surely now he must look at the numbers coming over and think, oh, balls, I've made a mistake. But it just doesn't seem like it, does it? He's going on saying he's smashing the gangs or whatever with this Security Border Force Commander, helping out, no doubt. But unfortunately it does seem, doesn't it, that the only back doors that are being smashed in is ours, kind of. With, let's face it, a massive increase on the NHS and other emergency services, which, remember, we're all paying tax on. Not to mention, of course, they all need a place to stay, don't they? So no doubt, of course, we'll all end up paying for that. Unless, maybe, just maybe, I don't know, they might be able to stay at Gary Lineker's house. Oh, I've got a feeling, let's face it, there's more chance of pigs flying. Then yes, I know he did do it once as far as I'm aware, but I'm pretty sure the person who stayed there was probably security checked to high heaven, which unfortunately for the rest of us, not every single illegal boat person is bound to be. Probably, presumably, of course, because they have very slippery fingers or drop their phone into the sea on the way over. But what they said about it then? Well, it seems they go back to their default position and blaming the last government, because it says the Home Office source hit back saying the Tory government failed to take our border security seriously. Are they actually listening to the words that are coming out of their mouths? They let criminal gangs take hold all along the borders, and on their watch, small boat crossings grew from just a few hundred in 2018 to tens of thousands by the time they left office. And admittedly, yes, they didn't really have much of a handle on the position, although presumably with this new information, Labour have got even less of a hand on the situation and have increased it by a third so far, remember, and therefore it just makes me wonder just how much worse it's going to get before Labour finally enacts an Australian-style system and says something like, I'm sorry, but anyone coming over via this method is not going to get asylum, which is, from what I'm aware, is what Tony Abbott did back in Australia, and therefore that, I think, is the only way that these guys are going to get the message. not by going after the gangs, because from what I've heard, as soon as one gang goes, another one will come along to take their place, because no doubt, of course, if someone wants to get here and not, let's say, fill out the correct paperwork or have enough points or whatever, they're going to pay quite a lot of money to do it, aren't they? They haven't finished there, though. They say, we want to end dangerous small boat crossings which threaten lives and undermine our border security. Well, how about take a note of what I just said? I mean, it's just an idea. It might actually help a lot more than what your one is, Labour. Labour is fixing our border security, they say. The new Border Security Command, backed up by an additional £150 million and 100 new specialist investigators to go after the evil smuggling gangs and making millions out of small boat crossings. And we will stop at nothing to dismantle their business models and bring them to justice. And whilst that does sound very admirable, I've just got a feeling it's going to be a lot harder than what they think it's going to be, and therefore, surely wouldn't it be seen as cutting their nuts off if they went with the Tony Abbott solution? Because, let's face it, if their people are just going to get turned round back to the safe country of France, then they are bound to be out of business very, very quickly indeed.